From Mountain Lion Stadium on the campus of University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, we bid you welcome to Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Soccer, where tonight the UCCS Mountain Lions host the CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves in what should be a great match. There are so many storylines to talk to you about tonight, and we'll discuss that throughout the match. But the most important one is these two teams that matched up in the RMAC Conference Final last season start this season anew and look to get back to the conference finals and then move on to the NCAA playoffs. Hello again, everyone. I'm Doug Klein, bringing you all of the action from here at Mountain Lion Stadium on what is an exciting homecoming night. The stands are full. This is the second game of a men's-women's doubleheader. The men excited the crowd to a 1-1 draw, and now we get ready to go with the women. So we're going to get ready to cut out to the field and get this game underway. So the Mountain Lions have the edge on the Thunderwolves over the course of the years they've been playing. UCCS has a 6-5-1 advantage, and that comes by way of 2 wins last year. Last year they went to Pueblo and they spoiled the Thunderwolves senior day with a 2-1 overtime win, and that was the last game of the regular season. And then just 1 week later the teams squared off again in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Finals. UCCS won that 1-0 with a goal late in the first half. And then, as you know the story, UCCS moved on to the national Final Four after running through the South Central region in the NCAA playoffs. But this is a new season, and we are getting ready to go in front of a packed house at Mountain Lion Stadium. We're going to be having a bonfire across the way after the game to celebrate homecoming, and there will be homecoming festivities all weekend long, including another men's-women's doubleheader coming up for you on Sunday. We're so glad you're with us on this evening. You're watching us on streaming right now, and it'll be broadcast on Comcast later on replays. So tonight, UCCS, to honor homecoming, they are wearing their black uniforms in gold trim, and they are moving from our right to your left. And if you are somewhat accustomed to watching the streaming of the Mountain Lions in the early season, you'll notice that the vantage point has changed because UCCS Media Services is helping out this evening with all kind of camera angles. We are coming to you from the fan side. Well, Pueblo has the better run of play here in the first 30 seconds as they move in on the attack. There's a bit of a tumble, no call, and the Mountain Lions kick it out for the throw-in. So as we were saying, this is the nightcap of the men's-women's doubleheader. The men's side tied with Regis 1-1, so there was some bonus soccer. So for those of you that are watching live stream, we are underway a little bit late, and that's because the teams had to have ample time to warm up. And for family, friends, and fans that are watching around the country, an absolutely picture-perfect night here in Colorado Springs. Clear skies. We're in the lower 80s. Obviously, about an hour ago, the sun set behind the mountains, and a lovely, cool, late summer, early fall evening here in Colorado Springs. In the early action, right in front of us, you have Maddie Tominello defending for UCCS. She's playing forward and coming into pressure. Anna Gregg is playing that attacking center mid, as you see. Gregg missed last week's game. She was ill. She's fully recovered from that and back on the field. UCCS switches fields, and here comes Elisa Muir on the ball. Muir gets past the defender, has one more to go, crosses it far side, no runner coming in to put it away. So the first real chance for UCCS 2.5 minutes into the match. So we talked about a number of storylines. We thought we would be coming to you tonight talking about one, maybe two teams that are in the national rankings. And there is one team in the national ranking, but a bit of a surprise. UCCS dropped out of the national rankings after last week. UCCS opened the preseason as number 3 in the nation after week 1 when they went 1-1-1. And we'll hold off here as they're on the attack. After the opening weekend where UCCS went 1-1-1 on the opening weekend, they dropped to number 17. And then last week they played only one game against Fort Hays State. They won that here 3-1 with 3 goals in the final 15 minutes of the match to seal that victory. Fort Hays State then went on to Pueblo to complete their weekend of play, and they tied CSU Pueblo. That's Tara Patterson that took the shot, deflected off of an angle. Challenging over here on the near side is Ella Fisher. Fisher gives it back to Captain Patterson, and Patterson sends it back to Muir. And now it's Tara Patterson back on. It looks for the give and go, doesn't quite connect, and the Thunderwolves start back the other way. That ball sent forward, goes back to the goalkeeper. And we'll talk a little bit about Riley Martin. She's a bit of a story for the Thunderwolves. As we were saying, Fort Hays State, after leaving Colorado Springs, went to Pueblo with a last-minute regulation goal. They squared the score at 2, and that's where the game ended. So CSU Pueblo comes into this game 3-0-1 with the tie against Fort Hays State. UCCS Mountain Lions are 2-1-1. And despite the fact they beat Fort Hays State while CSU Pueblo tied them, UCCS then fell out of the top 25, and CSU Pueblo jumped in at number 23. And it's the first time CSU Pueblo has been in the top 25 since 2016. The big reason for the leapfrog over UCCS, despite the Fort Hays State result, is the fact that CSU Pueblo opened the season with a 2-0 victory on the road against West Texas A&M. And West Texas A&M, since that opening game loss, has gone on a tear in the Lone Star Conference. They handed UCCS their only loss. So CSU Pueblo has secured a victory against one of the top-ranked teams in the country, West Texas A&M. So as a result of that, they successfully leapfrogged the Mountain Lions. But all of that is just fun talk. The thing that matters is what you're seeing on the field in front of you. And Riley Martin is ready to put it back into play for the Thunderwolves. In the early going, both teams feel like they have a bit of a score to settle. The Mountain Lions, they want to get right back, host the conference tournament. They are the preseason favorite to win the conference, so the target is on their back just about every game. The team is a little bit miffed that they fell out of the top 25. Some of that is on them. And they know it. That's not just me saying that. And there's an offside. The team had a spirited practice on Wednesday. They looked as good as they have all season in that practice. And then they did a bit of an 11-on-11 scrimmage yesterday to get ready for this game, which is the first of their 2-game weekend. The Mountain Lion women will be right back here Sunday afternoon at 2:30 when New Mexico Highlands comes into town for the second RMAC match of the season. Patterson with the ball, looking for Muir, who's running ahead. Muir is turned back. Patterson back on the ball, wall pass to Fisher. Patterson gets around, left foot goes far post, and Tori Maydew can't quite get there to touch it. So we talked about one of the storylines, Riley Martin, no stranger to Colorado Springs. Riley Martin went to school right here in the Springs at Rampart High School, where she was an all-league player. She also played for the local soccer club, Pride Soccer Club. There's a shot that goes wide. Martin wasn't completely sure if it was on net, so even though it was wide, she deflected it, and that'll create our first corner of the evening. Going over to take it, as often occurs from the right side of the field, is the dominant left-footed Tara Patterson. Patterson has 2 of the 6 UCCS goals on the young season. She lines it up. Let's see if they go far post for the big bender. That's Kate Esterly who has the ball far post, and she tried to send it across the face of net, and it goes out. As we were saying, with Riley Martin playing for the Pride Soccer Club here locally, the former director of coaching is one Sean Hudson, the head coach now of the UCCS Mountain Lions. So Martin familiar with UCCS, and certainly UCCS familiar with her play. Last year, she was unable to play in either of the games against the Mountain Lions, as she was injured early in the 2017 season, and the junior was only able to play a few matches, but she's back in form. Tori Maydew is on the ball for the Mountain Lions along the goal line, tries to make a move, cut it back, it's deflected, and cleared out by the Thunderwolves. A bit of a miscommunication there. So again, to kind of finish the storyline on Riley Martin, because of her outstanding play in the Week 1 2-0 shutout of West Texas A&M, she was named the RMAC Goalkeeper of the Week in Week 1. So the referee directs Muir down closer to where the ball went out. Kind of a disconnect with Tominello, and the Thunderwolves come back out. Intercepted by Gregg. Big shot from outside. Hits one of the pack, as is their nickname, the Thunderwolves. So I'll probably occasionally refer to them as the Pack and the T-Wolves. That's crossed. Martin gets in front of it, intercepts it, and ready for the punt to start things back for CSU Pueblo. That's Malone Parado, who comes up from defense and is knocked down, earns the call, a direct kick for the Mountain Lions. And I think most of you around the country know Pueblo is just about an hour or so south of Colorado Springs. So the stands are not only full with fans for homecoming weekend, but it's an easy drive up from Pueblo. Muir on the challenge, near side with Michelle Morey. Muir earns the throw, gives it to Tominello. Tominello forces the deflection off of a Thunderwolf. And now we have another corner kick. And from this side, the dominant right-footed Anna Gregg to take it. Gregg sets it down, looks to see if anybody's playing short. Nobody's coming in short. They've got Kate Esterly coming in again on the far side. Ball loose right in front. Foul on the Mountain Lions, and we'll have a direct kick from inside the 18 for CSU Pueblo. As you may know, the all RMAC members play in the South Central region of NCAA Division II women's soccer. Joining them in the South Central region are the Lone Star Conference and the Heartland Conference. So in the early season United Soccer coaches rankings, we already talked about the national rank where UCCS fell out of the top 25 and CSU Pueblo moved into it. In the regional rankings, you can see that clearly the strength, at least in the early season, goes to the RMAC squads. School of Mines, who I believe is the last game of the season for the Mountain Lions. No, actually, I think it's Regis is the last game. School of Mines is a little bit before that, but certainly later in the season. Anyway, School of Mines has the top rank in the region, and they are ranked 7th nationally. Ball goes into the area. Riley Martin scoops that up. Metro State is ranked number 2 in the region and 11th nationally. 5 out of the top 6 teams in the regional rankings are out of the RMAC. Number 3 is the squad you're seeing here, CSU Pueblo, who, as we've discussed, owns the nation's 23rd rank. Then the number 4 squad is the West Texas A&M team that suffered a defeat to the Thunderwolves and beat the Mountain Lions. And the Mountain Lions come in at number 5, and that's followed by Dixie State at 6. And rounding out representation from the RMAC is the number 9 team, Colorado Mesa. So the RMAC has 6 teams in the top 10 of the region. Lone Star Conference has 2, and Heartland Conference has 2. And again, those are the Week 2 results. That's from the United Soccer coaches. Again, those rankings, more fun than real. Because coming up in about a month, the NCAA will start issuing its regional rankings based on an objective calculation. And those are the rankings that really count when you get into the seedings for the NCAA playoffs, should you be fortunate enough to earn a spot in that tournament. CSU Pueblo has been there the last 2 years in the conference finals, only to lose both times and not make the NCAA playoffs. Meanwhile, the Mountain Lions made their first appearance in the NCAA playoffs. Here's a give and go with Maydew on the far side. Maydew also has 2 goals on the season. She's tied with Patterson for the team lead. Nice cutback, putting it on her left. Sets it in, ball loose. Challenge against the keeper. That's Tominello who goes in hard. Tominello thought the ball was loose. Referee just gives her a little bit of a talking to. They've stopped the clock to let Martin walk it off. This is a courtesy that officials will extend to keepers. They don't want to force the substitution by calling the trainer on. Let the keeper walk off a bit. Center referee heads back to position, blows the whistle. Martin approaches it, and the clock is running once again. Parado steps up nicely to head it back, moving it forward to Fisher. Fisher looking for Maydew. Maydew on the far side, going one-on-one. Takes the goal line, looking to cut it back. Does so. Fisher. And they called the offside. Mountain Lions move it ahead, looking for Fisher. Fisher has it. Greg tries to sneak in behind the line. Fisher can't find her. And on back come the Thunderwolves. Parado goes back to grab it for the Mountain Lions. Have a whistle, foul. Looks like Tominello called for the foul, or Greg. Tominello is told to step back, give her the 10 yards. Okay, so Tominello has already gone in hard on the keeper, a little close to the ball. She's going to have to be careful. The referee may not have the patience to keep the card in his pocket. Tominello back to Greg. Greg tries to push it forward for Maydew. Maydew comes away with it. It's Naomi Garola on the far side with it. She drops it down, looking for the cutback, lofts it into the center. Header goes just over Fisher's head. Greg gets there first. I think she successfully flicked it off of CSU Pueblo. Muir with the throw. Muir to Patterson, trying to look for the give and go. Greg chooses to send it across to the other side. Garola steps up into the space. Garola toward goal. And Martin easily snares that. It's a foul on CSU Pueblo on the tug. You can tell this is a big game since you have the vantage point. With the cameras, you can see that both teams stay standing. Nobody is sitting, and we are just 20 minutes into the match. You can tell the fans didn't like that call. At least from my perch, I'm not entirely sure that shouldn't have been called either, but nonetheless, play continues. Fisher pops it over to Maydew. Maydew, Riley's out of goal. Score! Tori Maydew, her third goal of the season, and she puts UCCS on top. Just 20 minutes and 42 seconds into the game. For UCCS, this is the first time, believe it or not, in just over 400 minutes of play, this is the first time that they have gone out to the lead first. In their two victories, they had to come back from a one-goal deficit each time. Out of the 6 goals they had on the season coming into this match, they've only scored 1 in the first half, 5 in the second, and now they notched the first goal of this match to take the lead early. So this is not a position that they're accustomed to. CSU Pueblo, they fell to a 1-0 deficit to Fort Hays State last week. And as we discussed, they came back, took a 2-1 lead, and then conceded that late goal for the tie. So both teams, with their pedigree, have been in this position to come from behind. For the first time, we'll see if the Mountain Lions have the formula to maintain the lead. Big challenge there at midfield, and which way does it go? Center referee Rob Kiefer calls the foul against the Mountain Lions. Ball goes into Kaylin Smith. Really the first time we've called her name tonight. You can tell with the excitement in the stadium, a lot of it is because of the importance of this early season game. Ball goes through. Racing is Fisher. She goes down in a heap. She got there first. Martin looks back at her. Fisher gets up. Momentarily, I was fearful of a knee, but it looks like Fisher is okay as she recovers. That's Katie Pacino back on the defense, who picks the ball up and starts the process to swing it over to the other side. Parado with it. Parado back to Pacino. Pacino to Smith. Smith is at the top of the 18, and she brings it to midfield. Intercepted by CSU Pueblo, but the Mountain Lions get it right back and bring it over near side to Muir. Muir gets around that defender. She's tackled hard. Maydew gets through, tipped, score! Tori Maydew, her second of the game to give UCCS a 2-0 lead. You may have heard the PA announcer. The assist goes to Muir, and she made the play with the good movement of the ball over here on the near side. Flicked it ahead. Maydew with incredible speed. Gets through the back line, picks it up. Martin came out, got a fingertip on it, but there was enough momentum on the shot that it went into the net. UCCS up 2-0. UCCS off of the kickoff. Comes right back. Now CSU Pueblo trying to counter. They need to have this lead. Cleared out dangerously by UCCS. If you don't get the correct surface on that one, it could deflect into your own goal. Sagaguchi on the ball. She has one of the goals on the season for the Thunderwolves. Challenge there at midfield goes nowhere. And CSU Pueblo kicks it ahead, but Parado intercepts. She's looking to get that ahead to Cleary. Now Parado decides to take it herself. She's tripped up, no call. Muir steps up, takes it away on the tackle, gets it to Patterson. Patterson out for Gregg. Gregg comes to Cleary. Cleary to Parado. Parado's lost her headband. Ball comes out for the throw. Parado gets her headband back on, and Muir comes over to take the toss. Muir telling her forces what she wants done. Cleary shields the ball. Gregg makes a nice move, gets through. She finds Savannah Mills. Mills was offside. 19 minutes remaining in half number one. The Mountain Lions out to the early 2-0 lead. Ball put back in play, immediately intercepted by the Mountain Lions. Cleary gets there first, but can't control it, and it goes to Sagaguchi. Sagaguchi starts coming back for Pueblo. And that's Mills who intercepts it. With great speed, she gets around the first defender. Passes off for Cleary. It's deflected, and the Mountain Lions unable to control. Martin trying to find a spot to go to create the attack. Patterson steps up, intercepts it. Give and go with Cleary. Patterson going one-on-one, makes the crossover move. Gets past the defender, tries to cross it in front, stays in the field of play, does not go out for the corner. So the Thunderwolves save that. Stepping up all the way from center back is Pacino. Now she needs to recover and get back into position before the Thunderwolves have numbers. The Mountain Lions reset their shape. Parado steps up, slide tackle, can't maintain control. CSU Pueblo with it. Big shot! And there's the save by Kaylin Smith. Smith with the punt, gets it ahead for Tominello, who drops it back to Cleary. Patterson with it, comes to the left wing to Tominello. She does the crossover move, looking to cross it back to center. Goes far post, waiting for the header. Was Cleary, and it went off of a Thunderwolf, and we'll have another corner. First, a couple of subs come in. Anna Gregg looks like she's checking out. Amelia Jungi comes in for her first minutes of the match. Also checking in, Fabiola Estrada. And here's the corner kick. It's up near the 6. Comes back to Esterly. She puts it right on net. CSU Pueblo tries to break out quickly. The Mountain Lions get back. Muir tries to slow things down. She's patient, sends it back to Smith. Smith, with space, brings it over near side. Muir with it, sends it back to Smith once again, who changes fields and takes it over to the right flank. And from there, the Mountain Lions will start their attack. We are 15 minutes to go, half number one. UCCS on this homecoming evening with a 2-0 lead. Ball goes out, flag is raised on the far side over the touchline. We'll have a throw-in. Muir with the ball, near side. Sends it back to Smith. And we've seen this set up before. Tries to take it over weak side. Looking for the big cross. Cleary was there. Couldn't get it through to her, but Muir is able to step up. Tominello with the overlap. Muir gets through. Now she drops it off to Tominello. A bit too firm. However, it did deflect off of a Thunderwolf, so we'll have a throw-in. And the referee points closer to the corner flag, is where the ball went out. Mirror on it. Tominello draws it back. Just enough of a deflection by the Thunderwolf defenders to break that up. Muir once again with the throw. Muir lofts it in. Jungi trailing. She gets there first. Left foot back to Estrada. Estrada sends it out to the right wing to Garola. And a bit of a 50-50 shot over there goes in favor of the Mountain Lions. Sent in. Mountain Lions right along the goal line, challenged by the Thunderwolves, goes out for the goal kick. You can see a couple of the CSU Pueblo players thought corner kick. They were already lining up to defend the corner. Final 12 and a half minutes, half number one, here at Mountain Lions Stadium. UCCS with the early 2-0 lead. Direct kick right at midfield for CSU Pueblo. Head flick back toward net, sent up in the air. Dangerously by her own defense. Kaylin Smith pulls that down. Again, for those of you maybe a bit unfamiliar with the rules of soccer, even though that did go off of a Mountain Lion foot back to Smith, it was not intentionally directed. Therefore, there was no issue with her catching the ball. Cleary brings it up, looking for space. They're hoping for the cross. They've got a runner on the right side if they can get it there. Jungi creates a shot opportunity, gets it in near net. Martin comes out to pick it up. Tominello pushes it ahead too far. Cleary won't be able to get there. And with this throw-in, I think they had it a bit wrong on the sideline. It was a sub opportunity for CSU Pueblo, not the Mountain Lions. So play resumes. Muir goes in behind, comes away with the ball. She's pushed by Sakaguchi. Referee is right on it, saw the push, and the Mountain Lions will get a direct kick opportunity from a very dangerous spot. Tara Patterson and Muir both in the area. Referee says the game will restart on his whistle. He wants the 10 yards. The Thunderwolves retreat. Left-footed shot going far post. Crash. Off the post. Rebound. Again cleared off the line. Another shot. Tominello. Wide. On that final shot, they called offside. Would not have gone. A post and a save. Mountain Lions. Referee didn't like something about the way I'm guessing the ball wasn't set. You can see the referee's arm is up, indicating an indirect kick on the offside. Martin puts it back into play as we approach 8.5 minutes to go, first half. Mountain Lions with a 2-goal lead. I think we started talking about earlier. Most soccer coaches will tell you most dangerous lead in this sport is the 2-goal lead. You start getting a little confident. You've had the run of play. The momentum is in your favor. And then before you know it, a counterattack, a mistake, and you're only up by 1. So you need that third goal. And the Mountain Lions are playing like they want it. Mountain Lions doing a good job with numbers forward. CSU Pueblo wants the offside. They don't get it. And the cross deflects, resulting in a corner for the Mountain Lions. And 3 Mountain Lions are going to be coming in to see action here in the final 8 minutes. And again, for those of you maybe just getting accustomed to the NCAA rules on substitutions in the first half, you are not permitted a re-entry once you come out, but the roster does reset at the beginning of the second half. So the players that just checked into the game will play out the final 8 minutes, barring an injury. Here comes the cross, going for Muir's head, and she and a CSU Pueblo player collide on heads. Referee appropriately stops the clock. As in most sports over the last few years, as we learn more and more and more about head injuries and concussions, whenever there is a suspicion of a head injury, play is immediately stopped. And it looked like on that corner kick, Muir collided with the defender. Muir was a little shaken up, but she was able to get up after a few seconds. I think it was a strike on the head. Trainer is out on the field attending. You can see both teams are huddling at midfield as they get ready for play to resume after the injured player goes off. We've got the binoculars on it, but we're blocked a bit right now by the training staff to try to give you the number if you're a CSU Pueblo fan. Certainly hope the best for her. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. This gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit about what's going on for the rest of the weekend. On streaming at GoMountainLions.com, obviously you're watching this game now, and coming back Sunday, it'll be a women's doubleheader at noon Mountain Time on Sunday. The UCCS men will take on School of Mines, and then that'll be followed at 2:30 when New Mexico Highlands comes into town to take on this same UCCS women's side. All of that action will be on live streaming at GoMountainLions.com. And it'll also be rebroadcast on the local Comcast channels. We have UCCS Media Services here tonight. We're set up with the truck and multiple cameras to bring you this quality broadcast. If you've been watching streaming, you notice we are on the other side of the field. Typically, we are on top of the press box with just the one camera. So hopefully this will be an exciting and appropriate homecoming weekend. To let you follow all the play-by-play early in the season, finally, after a number of minutes, was number 2, Emily Trosher, junior midfielder. She's a local kid out of Falcon High School. Falcon is in the Colorado Springs area. She goes off the field. And I'm sure they will substitute for her, and I'm sure they're going to begin to follow the concussion protocol to see if she can come back into the game. Here is also a late sub for UCCS, the replacement for her comes onto the field. That's Alyssa Mitrick who comes on. And now when we resume play, all of that created a corner kick. There was a deflection after that collision. There's the whistle. Mountain Lions go short. Not executed well, so the Thunderwolves are able to counter. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Kaylin Smith way out. She gets something on the ball. Smith tries to recover. Ball loose. Smith still not completely back in net. Here come the Thunderwolves. A bit of a takedown over there on the near side. No flags are up. And it finally goes out, and it'll be a CSU Pueblo throw. Again, that is exactly the kind of thing we were talking about with a 2-goal lead. They go short, not enough pace on the ball, intercepted, quick counterattack, and you have a 2-on-1 for CSU Pueblo. Smith read it, thought coming out was the right thing to do. Certainly made it exciting. We now come into the final 6 minutes of half number 1. Sagaguchi sends it back to her defense to try to create a counterattack here late. Jungi sends it out wide. I think I saw McKenna Furman came back on. Or not back on, but on for the first time in this match. There's a challenge over on the far sideline, results in a UCCS throw with 5.5 minutes to go in half number 1. That injury kind of sapped the momentum for both teams as they stood around for 5 minutes or so while the player was attended to. Both teams trying to find some momentum to create some opportunities in this final 5 minutes. Quick restart by the Thunderwolves as they try to beat the Mountain Lions, hoping they were late getting back. Comes over to the near side. A bit too much pace on that pass, and it'll be a Mountain Lion throw. Pacino sends it back to Smith, who comes out wide to Muir. Muir sends it ahead. That was Taylor Wilpott just into the game, who was pushed off of the ball. Now Kendall Stevenson, one-on-one challenge. Shield. Kendall Stevenson pushes hard in the back. That was an interesting play both ways. Savannah Mills gets around the corner. Now it's a 2-on-3, and she's got runners joining. There's now 4 in the play. Mills, left-footed shot, blocked. Tries to recover near the top of the 18. Gets it back, drops it. Shot, bounces wide. And the clock is stopped. And Kendall Stevenson earns herself a card. My strong suspicion that caution was earned on the earlier push in the back. The referee appropriately let play run, and he issued the card at the next stoppage. So Kendall Stevenson with the card in the 42nd minute. And that would be for unsporting behavior. Now, the reason when that play occurred that I said it was a bit of an interesting play, you could make the soccer argument. Well, we'll pause for that discussion while the Thunderwolves are on a bit of a rush. Get back the defense. Slide it in. Comes out. It's loose. There's the shot blocked in front and finally cleared by the Mountain Lions. The Mountain Lions have given up a lot of territory here in the last few minutes, really, since the injury. Jungi drops it back, and the Mountain Lions start up again, trying to find that magic that they had in the first part of the half. I'm sure Coach Sean Hudson will have a bit of a discussion with them at halftime, saying nothing is done yet. There are still 48 minutes of soccer to play. Cleary tries to run through. That's Savannah Mills for the Mountain Lions, who comes back to defend that nicely and now try to start it back up the right side. The Mountain Lions break through. Can't quite connect with Stevenson, and it goes back to Pueblo. Sagaguchi has it. She's dispossessed. And the Mountain Lions try to make something happen in the final 2 minutes. Nice little back pass, but it was snuffed out by CSU Pueblo. They would like nothing more than to get on the board before the end of the half and switch momentum. Can the Mountain Lions step up to the challenge? That ball is dropped harmlessly into the box. Smith out. No pressure on her. She decides to pick it up. Drop kick. Comes across midfield. First bounce. It's put back onto Jungi's foot. Jungi can't quite control it. Tries to get it ahead. We're in the final 75 seconds. Mountain Lions pushed ahead to Cleary. See if she can get there first to keep it in. Her speed is successful. Cleary on the ball. Trying to go one-on-one. Finding a seam. Looks for the touch. There's Estrada on it. Touch goes a little too far out in front. About 8 pair of feet out there, and the ball finally comes loose. Muir keeps it in, pops it up near the top of the 18. Jungi goes up for the challenge. She's hitting the back of the head. Wants the call, doesn't get it. And in the final 40 seconds, UCCS has the throw-in. To Jungi. Back to Cleary. Cleary puts it right across to the 6. Nice positioning by the CSU Pueblo defense. Final 20 seconds. Ball popped across the top of the 18. Comes out. Pacino on it. Looks around. Looking to send it back in 10 seconds. Mills looks to get around. Trying to create a shot in the final 5 seconds. Goes wide. And that's how your half will end. An exciting first half with the UCCS Mountain Lions ahead 2-0. The Mountain Lions clearly had the better of the game in the first 30 minutes or 35 or so. Once there was the injury, the momentum started to switch after both teams regrouped for 5 minutes, awaiting treatment on the field. And CSU Pueblo probably had a little bit better of the run of play in that final 10 minutes as they attempted to have the lead toward the end of that half. So in NCAA soccer, we have a 15-minute break. We will go ahead and check out for a bit, run a few ads, promotions, and then we will be back with you around 5 minutes before the second half begins. Again, so halftime here at Mountain Lions Stadium on this homecoming on this Friday night. The UCCS Mountain Lions hold a 2-0 lead over CSU Pueblo. We'll be back with you in about 10 minutes. Enjoy your halftime, everyone. Welcome back to Mountain Lions Stadium, where we are at halftime of this Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference battle between UCCS Mountain Lions and the CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves. And UCCS holds on to the 2-0 lead. Before we get back to the second half, let's take a look at what action is going on around the league tonight. Everybody in the RMAC is in action as they get ready to open RMAC play, or this is the first night of RMAC play across the league. Fort Lewis defeated Black Hills State 3-0. That moves Fort Lewis to 2-2-1 on the young season. Mines defeated Colorado Western 1-0. Meanwhile, Regis took a 3-2 victory over Adams State. You see the players behind us lining up. Incidentally, I'm seeing on the monitor the fine dancing that's done. That is by last year's Defensive Player of the Year, Savannah Borman. You can see her with the boot on over there. She was tagged as the Player of the Year, preseason Player of the Year on the back line, but her injury just keeps acting up. She was back training with the team, re-dinged it a little bit, and so she might be out another week or so. Doubt that she's going to play on Sunday, but that decision will come late. Anyway, to finish the scores from around the league, Regis on top of Adams State 3-2. And the other two matches are just going on now. They started about the same time as ours was scheduled. We were a little late starting because the men's game went into overtime. So Metro State is up 3-0 on New Mexico Highlands. They're up in Denver. They're going to make their way down here to Colorado Springs for the Sunday match against UCCS. So Metro State is up 3-0 on New Mexico Highlands. Last we checked, that match was in the 75th minute. And in the 88th minute, Colorado Mesa was up on Colorado Christian by a 1-0 count. Here at Mountain Lions Stadium, let's take a look at what happened in that first half. The Mountain Lions, it was pretty much all Mountain Lions the first 35 minutes of the match, and it showed on the scoreboard with 2 goals. For UCCS, Tori Mado notched both goals for her 3rd and 4th on the season. The opening goal came off an assist from Ella Fisher, and then Madu came right back with a few minutes later. Elisa Muir challenged for the ball along the near sideline, popped it toward the 18. Madu, with her speed and strength, busted through the back line and was able to put the ball away for the 2-0 lead. The players are lined up at midfield as we await the whistle, and we are underway in half number 2. The final 45 minutes of play in this match. CSU Pueblo right away controls the ball, creates the turnover, and the Mountain Lions put it on net. Martin forced to make the save, and right out of the gates, we have a Mountain Lion corner kick. The Mountain Lions in that first half outshot CSU Pueblo 13-3. There's the corner kick, big, going in. Bunch of scrum right in front. Ball comes out right to Martin's hands, and we will go back into the flow of play with a punt. Kaylin Smith for the Mountain Lions was credited with 1 save, and Riley Martin was also credited with 1 save. One of the things we talked about in the first half was some of the storylines. One of the interesting storylines, you have, not surprisingly, because both of these teams were in the RMAC Conference Tournament Finals last year, both of these teams placed a number of players on the all-tournament team. And players that are on the squad this year from that all-tournament team. But first, let's take a look at this bit of a rush. That's a bit too far ahead. That's Pacino, who just tried to head it out of trouble. Didn't get quite enough force on it. Coming through is CSU Pueblo. They put the ball toward net. Smith goes to the ground, realizes it's going to go wide, pulls her hand back. No touch, so therefore the Mountain Lions get a corner kick. Anyway, as we were talking about some of the returning players from the RMAC All-Conference team last year that are on the field tonight, Tara Patterson and Tori Madu for UCCS, along with Anna Gregg. We talked at halftime about Savannah Borman. She was on the all-tournament team, but obviously not playing because of the injury. Also on the CSU Pueblo side, one of their all-tournament selectees, Alexa Estep. She played in goal after Riley Martin's injuries last year. She's on the squad. Her health is fine, but she's backing up Martin. And we have the second corner kick of the second half coming up. I think that's Greg that's on the ball over there. Comes the kick, goes far post, through all of the traffic, comes out the other side of the 18. Bit of confusion down there. I think that's Muir. And if it is Coach Sean Hudson has chosen to move Muir to the right side. No, actually, Muir's still on the left side. She was over on the right, set up for the corner kick. Now she returns to her natural position. UCCS maintaining possession. Garola sends it into traffic. No one there. Smith way out of net. Puts it on to Esterly's foot, sends it ahead to Parado. Parado tries to find Gregg, can't quite control it, but gets enough of a touch on it to maintain possession. And there's Gregg sending it ahead. That's Maydew looking for the hat trick, sends it in front, cleared out by the defense. Here's a fun fact as we move into the second half of play. After 380 minutes in the first 4 matches, UCCS, with the 2-1-1 record, was only ahead for 23 of the 380 minutes. They've already been ahead longer in this match than they were in all the matches combined coming into tonight. So they've held the 2-0 lead now for about 30 minutes. You may have seen over there the UCCS bench assisting the referee, pointing the direction of the throw, goes in favor of the Mountain Lions. Ball gets through, goes over far side to Garola. Garola puts it far post. Just a bit high. This will be a goal kick for the Thunderwolves. We enter now the 52nd minute of play tonight, with UCCS ahead on their homecoming game, 2-0. With the lead and possession. That's Parado streaking through. Just a little too far ahead, and Martin is able to pick that up. Emily Trosher, who was injured near the end of the first half, did not come back out to start the second half. We assume from the way she got knocked that it was concussion protocol. We certainly have no knowledge of the specific diagnosis, but at least at this point she's out of the game. Certainly hope the best for her. Bit of a challenge there over on the sideline. Comes into brief favor of the Thunderwolves. Ball ping-pongs possession a bit. I'm not sure if it's fair to say, but it appears that both teams lost a little bit of energy with the 15-minute halftime rest. We are in Colorado Springs at altitude. Fall evening. It has cooled down dramatically. Crisp, lovely fall night. No clouds in the sky. A half moon, quite bright with that half crescent. But the players seem to have slowed down just a bit. We'll see if they get their energy back, especially for CSU Pueblo. Obviously, they need a lot of things to go their way to come back into the match. And they now have 36.5 minutes to attempt to do that. Parado sends it ahead to Fisher. Fisher can't control. Ball loose. Tominello comes away with it. She was close to breaking free, but the Pueblo defense got back. Muir steps up. Stays on the ball. That's Sakaguchi. And they're calling Muir for the illegal charge after she ran through Sakaguchi. So the Thunderwolves will put it into play. We've played 9 minutes in half number 2. So far, the Mountain Lions, the only real opportunity of the second half, and that was in the first minute when they had generated a corner kick. Now the Mountain Lions are trying to maintain possession. They look for Garola, not quite enough pace on that pass. 3 Thunderwolves are after it. Good challenge over there. I saw the tug of the jersey by CSU Pueblo, no call. Then Garola is knocked down. Whistles are remaining largely in the pockets of the officials this evening. And unfortunately, that usually means the increase in physical play will occur as they try to measure what it is they can get away with. From our angle, Tominello's jersey was clearly pulled. We could see it being stretched off her back. Ball goes in front. Patterson trying to put it on that left foot. Sends it out wide. There's the shot. Bounces in. Martin got her hand on it. Couldn't keep control of the rebound, but it stayed in the field of play and finally knocked out for a UCCS throw. Again, ball, far post, looking for the header for Maydew. Just a little bit over her head as she was trying to drill that in for the hat trick. Comes back far post again across the face of the net. Still in UCCS possession. Knocked out by Pueblo and UCCS with the corner kick. Tara Patterson. Patterson to take the corner. As you can see, CSU Pueblo has nobody back for the counterattack. Goes in toward net. Pushed back out. Hopefully Patterson can collect it. She does. Tackled away by the Thunderwolves. And out for yet another corner. Patterson to take it again. She has a teammate coming short. Let's see which way they play this. The short player retreats. That's Garola. Patterson goes, looking for the header. It's dropped down into the crowd, comes loose, rolls toward net, and goes wide. And it'll be put back into play by Riley Martin. Midfield, that's Patterson that gets ahead on it, but stays in Pueblo's possession. Smith out of the box to send it back up neatly. And referee calls offside. If you saw his hand gesture, even though Tominello touched it in the onside position, she started her approach to the ball from the offside position, so the call is made. Fisher challenged over there along the touchline. Goes in favor of CSU Pueblo. Fisher and Garola. Play short, long. Pushed up for Tominello, too far. And the ball comes back. Garola just heads it out. This gives the Mountain Lions a chance to come back and create their defensive shape. Cara Siegel with the big throw. Esterly goes over the top. Garola to take the throw. Puts it on the ground for Patterson, who leaves it for a charging Parado. Parado gets by the first person. Despite the fact that she was taken off stride, no call. And it's a throw-in for UCCS deep in their defensive end. A big crowd around there. The ball rolls through, picked up by Smith. Smith with the big drop kick. Fisher tries to roll it with her boot forward, intercepted by the Thunderwolves, and they head back the other way. And we have a foul on Fisher. So direct kick pretty much right at midfield for CSU Pueblo. Fisher retreats, gets her head on it, collects the ball into a little trouble, drops it off for Garola, and right back to Fisher. Off her foot too far. CSU Pueblo keeps it at the top of the 18. Foul just outside the box. So this will be the most dangerous opportunity that the Thunderwolves have had this evening. That ball will be placed just outside the 18. About 10 yards from net. The player that was challenged over there is down. Now she gets up. The Mountain Lions have a two-person wall. Kaylin Smith is trying to direct her troops where she wants them, trying to block the near post angle. Looks like a primarily left-footed kicker, probably going to try to hook it in far post. There's the whistle. Play can resume. Goes short with the right foot, and then the big kick. The UCCS defense had plenty of opportunity to then get back and take what was a dangerous opportunity and thwart it rather easily. Maydew unable to control that with the lunge. The Thunderwolves trying to come back. 3-on-4. There's a shot. It's deflected off of a head. Smith picks it off of the short hop. Nice play. Not the easiest play in the world on that short hop. She gets it ahead for Greg. Greg has a little bit of space. She sees Tori Maydew on the left side. Ball was a bit too strong. Goes out for the throw-in. We have now played just over 1 hour this evening, and UCCS with the 2-0 lead. Number of substitutions come in. In the 63rd minute, and NCAA substitution guidelines. In the second half, you are permitted one re-entry in the second half. So oftentimes what you'll see coaches do, and UCCS did this to perfection last week when they were trailing by a goal at about this point or a little bit earlier. They subbed out some of their starters to give them a rest to try to have fresh legs for the remainder of the match. With about 18 minutes remaining, Coach Sean Hudson brought her crew back in. But let's look at this attack first. Across in front of the face of nets. Rolls along the goal line. Picked up by Maydew. She's tackled. And the ball starts coming back out. The Mountain Lions keep it in their attacking end. Looking for Garola. And as we were discussing what Coach Sean Hudson did last week about this time, or a few minutes before, She took out a number of her starters for the fresh legs. With 18 minutes remaining in the match, she brought them back in. And then the scoring onslaught, starting in the 75th minute, began. And UCCS put up 3 quick goals in the final 15 minutes to take the 3-1 win. So, using that as a guideline, CSU Pueblo may do the same. They need 2 goals. You don't be surprised if you see them sub off a couple of players to give them a couple-minute breather before they bring them back in for what they hope will be a rally to finish. Meanwhile, UCCS hopes to have something to say about that. And for the first time all season, they're hoping to have a chance to defend a 2-goal lead for the last 25 minutes. Against Fort Hays State, they scored their 3rd goal to take the 2-goal lead with 9 minutes remaining last week. CSU Pueblo trying to come out of the pack of Mountain Lion defenders. Ball goes over the touchline. UCCS ball. Here comes a substitution for the Thunderwolves. There's a hard tackle over on the sideline. Call goes against UCCS. If you occasionally catch a glimpse of the scoreboard, you can see that UCCS has a decided advantage in shot attempts, 18-5. And again, that's shot attempts, not on net. That ball goes out for a corner. This will be the first corner of this half for CSU Pueblo. And in fact, no corner kicks in the first half, so this will be their first corner of the match. The Mountain Lions have to be cautious to not get lulled to sleep, because in a blink of an eye, they could have just a 1-goal lead. Here comes the corner kick, goes right along the goal line. That was knocked out by Naomi Garola, who was protecting the near post. She headed it out for safety, and will do it again. Second corner kick of the night coming up for the Thunderwolves. Here's the kick, goes near the 6. Off of a UCCS head, deflects out to the top of the 18. Left-footed kick, and that's cleared out with a header by Elisa Muir. So we'll do a corner kick now from the near side. Third corner kick in the last 3 minutes. It's Carly Whiteman, it looks like, lining up to take the corner. Sends it in, goes far post. Shoulder-to-shoulder challenge there. Kept right in by CSU Pueblo. Cleared out. I think that was Patterson that headed it out. Now onto the foot of Mills. Mills just tries to clear it to relieve some pressure. Does so. Mountain Lions step up to reset the line. Patterson, soft pass ahead for Gregg. Back to Patterson. Patterson looks to go left wing. She has Muir. Muir turned back onto Pacino's foot. Pacino challenged. Ball goes out. Mountain Lions bring in a couple of subs. Kendall Stevenson comes back in the match. Stevenson is playing with a yellow card. Pacino gets a foot on it, sends it ahead. Still in UCCS possession, but under a lot of pressure on the touchline. And the CSU Pueblo pressure pays off. They earn the throw-in. Cleary comes into the game with Stevenson. Garola with it, looking for Cleary. CSU Pueblo steps up, takes it, but Cleary retreats and gets it right back. Now she brings it near side. That was Garola. And as this official has done a few times tonight, once the advantage did not stay in favor of UCCS or CSU Pueblo, then calls the foul appropriately. Kate Esterly to take the direct kick from just on UCCS's side of midfield. Kick toward the top of the 18. The challenge there, the boot goes up a bit high. I think they're calling that dangerous play. So it'll come back the other way as an indirect kick, and in fact, that is what the call is. That goes underneath Jungi's foot, but following the play was Patterson. Patterson pushes it up for Cleary. Cleary approaching the goal line, turns, crosses, far post, and it stayed out of net. The follow-up shot went high over the protective net into the parking lot. It may be on the softball field at this point. Parado comes back into the match for the Mountain Lions as we move under 20 minutes to play. Possession right back to the Mountain Lions. I think that's Mills with it. Mills tied up by a CSU Pueblo defender, comes back. Esterly heads it neatly ahead. Dropped back for Parado, who sends it square to Garola. Garola tries the give and go with Parado. She slots it ahead. Running onto it is Cleary. Cleary has the angle, drills it right in front. Nice positioning there by the defender to head that out of danger. And the Thunderwolves attempt to come back, but the Mountain Lions retreat quickly. Mills goes hard into the bench area. She gets up and recovers. Muir to take the throw. The second half has been less fast-paced than the first half, and the scoring in the second half reflects it. We've remained scoreless. UCCS with both of their goals in half number one right around midway through the period. Now the Mountain Lions attempt to counter back. Patterson pushes it outside for Cleary. Off of her foot and goes out for the goal kick. Have a couple of more subs checking into the match. McKenna Furman seeing her second batch of minutes this game. Her first time to come in this half. And Lakin Koss comes back into the game for CSU Pueblo. She wears number 11. And my guess is that's one of the subs that I was talking about. She'll probably finish out this match. In fact, she generated a couple of shots in the first half. We are now into the 75th minute of this match. UCCS on this homecoming evening with the 2-0 advantage. At the risk of jinxing this, Kaylin Smith has one shutout thus far in the season. That was the opening game of the season against Dallas Baptist that went double overtime and finished 0-0. Shot goes far post, deflected off of a Thunderwolf. And they maintain possession, and they are streaking up the left side. Passing into Koss, who's just back into the game. And now coming over here to the near sideline. Big challenge with Furman and Whiteman. And that tussle goes in favor of the Mountain Lions. Furman tosses it into Esterly. Esterly softly ahead for Parado. Parado back to Pacino. You can see that the Mountain Lions are focused on defensive shape. Short passing, a little bit of keep away, take time off the clock as we enter the final 14 and a half minutes. That's Muir over there on the far side. Gets back past her defender. She's around the edge. She's going to have a chance to send it in front. That's deflected, I believe. I think we're going to get a corner. And indeed we do. Estrada comes into the match, and I think that's Pacino that checked out, number 12. We'll talk about Katie Pacino in just a second. But Estrada coming into the match. A low corner drilled in front, ball still loose, pops up near the top of the 18. Furman sends it ahead for Esterly. Esterly kicks it ahead and it goes out of bounds. Sent in, but mostly white jerseys there. And CSU Pueblo comes out with it. One defender back. Muir prevents the breakaway. Furman tries to shield the ball, does so, gets it back to Esterly. She's challenged. Esterly sends it back to Smith. Smith gets it out of trouble, sends it over, and it'll be a throw-in for the Thunderwolves. That's Mills, who is taken down, no call. And now they stop the clock. Now did he stop it for the injury or stop it for the foul? Okay, we talked about some of the delayed calls to see if advantage materializes. No, he thought that was an injury. This is going to be a drop ball. And I think in the spirit of sporting behavior, he's going to say CSU Pueblo had the ball, so this will probably be sent back. Nope, they challenge for it. So what we think happened there, realistically, it could have been a foul on CSU Pueblo. Chose to keep the whistle down, but because Mills took a hard fall, he thought there might be an injury. There's a shot, and it's in! A 3-0 lead. That was Cleary who put it on the left foot, sent it high and wide, and past the outreached stretch of Kylie Martin, and a 3-0 lead with 11:41 to go. And it would take quite an effort by CSU Pueblo to come back from the 3-0 deficit. And this is the first time all season, even though we're only into the 5th game, but the first time all season that the Mountain Lions have enjoyed a 3-goal advantage. And off of the kickoff, the Mountain Lions get it right back after a turnover. That's Stevenson, who tried to push it ahead. Now there's a chance we're going to see CSU Pueblo pushing great numbers forward, which is going to leave plenty of counterattack opportunities for the Mountain Lions. There's Cleary again, challenged by 2 Thunderwolves. She drops it off for Patterson. Patterson tries to push it through some traffic and offside. We are into minute number 80 with the Mountain Lions enjoying a 3-0 advantage. Tara Patterson intercepts that. Sends it to Jungi. Jungi for Estrada. Estrada puts it on her right foot, goes toward net. Riley to the ground and smothers it. This is Esterly hunting the ball down. Sends it up the touchline for Furman. Furman keeps it in nicely. Pushes ahead for Cleary. Cleary for Jungi. Jungi tries to make a move. Tackled and back on the Thunderwolves' feet. And CSU Pueblo attempts to counter back on the right side. Ball pushed through. Smith there. She'll try to slow things down. Picks it up as we move under 10 minutes to go. Cleary traps that nicely, sends it back to Furman, who pushes it ahead. She was looking for Stevenson, found her, nice combination, back on Stevenson's foot. That's Jungi moving in. And the Thunderwolves start heading back. Eight and a half minutes remaining in the match. UCCS Mountain Lions with the 3-0 lead. And they're looking to remain undefeated on home turf early in the season. They have a win and a draw to their credit thus far. If they hold on to this advantage, they will go to 3-1-1 on the season, but more importantly, 1-0 in conference play. There's a foul on Parado coming back. And more importantly, if you consider CSU Pueblo as one of the top challengers for the conference based on their appearance in the conference tournament finals the last couple years. This head-to-head victory, should the teams be tied at the end of the season, would give UCCS the advantage in hosting a playoff match. The way the RMAC championship works, the regular season champion gets to host the tournament. The top 8 squads in the RMAC will make the tournament in a typical tournament format. 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, and so on. It looks like about 4 substitutions getting ready to come in for the Mountain Lions to play the final 6 minutes and change. Smith waits for the subs to take position. Puts it back into play. Parado leaves it for Muir. Muir just pushes it up toward Maydew. Maydew racing. Sent back to the keeper, and Martin just sends it to midfield. It's Taylor Wilpott on the ball. Bit of a 2-on-2 challenge at midfield. And Muir working hard over there. Comes away with it. But it finally goes out off of a UCCS touch, and the Thunderwolves put it back into play. Hard tackle on the sideline, foul called. UCCS will get the kick. Clock is stopped. I don't know if this is going against the UCCS bench or the player. Yep. Referee calls the Thunderwolf over with who had the hard tackle. At this point, it's just a discussion. He has not pulled the card because it's late in the match. I believe he wanted to have the discussion without the clock running. He has his say, and he's ready to let the ball come back into play. Clock is stopped, 5:47 remaining in the game. Esterly puts it toward the top of the 18, cleared out by the Thunderwolves. And it's on to Furman's foot. She's under challenge. It's Justine Martinez. Nearly gets around the corner. Check that. That was actually Mackenzie Bean. Haven't called Bean's name much. She is one of the RMAC all-tournament players from last season. Now it's on to Maydew's foot. She tries to go one-on-one, can't get through the defender. UCCS still pushing hard to try to kill the final 5 minutes and protect this 3-goal lead. And as you see, the shot advantage for UCCS, 22-6. This has been very consistent with UCCS this season. Even though they're 2-1-1, they have a decided shot advantage throughout the entire season. They came into this match with a ratio of about 2 3/4 shots that they've generated for every 1 shot that they have allowed. And that's one of the better marks in the RMAC in the early matches of the season. And tonight they have a 3-1 advantage on shots. Parado challenges for that. Ball drops, comes back to Esterly, who just lofts it high. Looking for Tominello. Tominello tries to head it over the defender and grab it. It's knocked out by the Thunderwolves. Wilpot sends it ahead, and CSU Pueblo just sends it back in with 3:40 to go in the match. After that third goal, I think most viewers would agree CSU Pueblo certainly hasn't given up, but they don't have much of a spring in their step. This could change things if they break through here late. Good challenge, 50-50. It'll be a goal kick for the Mountain Lions. Smith brings it out near side to Esterly. Esterly looks ahead for Cleary. She does a nice job coming back to keep it in play and keep the clock running, and the possession in favor of the Mountain Lions. Esterly nearly turns it over, challenges. Thunderwolf player was offside. They saw that, so they chose not to pass it. Now Esterly steps through and is tripped. Referee getting a little bit frustrated as we are into the 88th minute. He's pretty much saying none of the rough stuff at this point in the match. Smith puts the ball back into play. CSU Pueblo has possession midfield. The Mountain Lion defensive line is set pretty strong, and the Thunderwolves are unable to penetrate. Now Cleary nearly breaks through for the breakaway, tries to drop it off. Just under 90 seconds to go. Mountain Lions looking to take the early lead in the RMAC. Mountain Lions will finish the weekend with New Mexico Highlands coming to town on Sunday. And interesting the way the schedule works out for the Mountain Lions as we enter the final minute. They play a pair of RMAC games at home next weekend. So that will complete 5 home matches in a row. 4 of them in the RMAC. Obviously, 12 points at stake in those 4 matches, hoping to earn them all before they go on a long road trip for a couple of weeks. Every game in the RMAC, incredibly important, especially for a team like the Mountain Lions who hope to return to the RMAC championship, earn the conference championship outright. Maydew, with 2 goals tonight, drops it back as we move into the final 15 seconds. And shortly you'll hear the PA announcer count down the final 10 seconds. And there you have it. Notch the W for UCCS and record the 3 points in the table. UCCS completes the shutout with a 3-0 win over arch rival CSU Pueblo with a decided shot advantage of 22-6. So the Mountain Lions accomplish what they set out to do. For those of you that are in the stands or still making your way to the field, the bonfire for homecoming will start, and the homecoming festivities will conclude on Sunday when we have another men's-women's doubleheader right here at Mountain Lion Stadium. The men's squad will take the lead with the noon game, and then the women will complete the weekend of 2 doubleheaders. Fans are beginning to exit the stadium. Oh, we have Come to Me on camera. So tonight, Tori Maydew with 2 goals to give the Mountain Lions the first half 2-0 lead, and then Kylie Cleary sealed the deal. And as she told me earlier in the week, this was going to be her last homecoming, and that's because as a transfer student, this is going to be her only homecoming in her final year of eligibility, and she puts the icing on the cake for the 3-0 victory for the Mountain Lions. And as we said, the Mountain Lions will complete the weekend series against New Mexico Highlands coming up on Sunday. The Mountain Lions take the early lead in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference with the 3-0 win tonight. There's a good chance they could leap back into the top 25. We'll find that out on Tuesday, as they have just defeated CSU Pueblo, who was the number 23 team after the Mountain Lions had fallen out of the top 25 just this week. So that'll all be coming up on Tuesday. But again, there'll be a full slate of RMAC games to follow on the rmacsports.org website. For our broadcasts coming up on Sunday, go ahead and if you can't be at the stadium, check out GoMountainLions.com. Go to the men's link to watch the feed for the men's match, and then you'll go back out and check on the women's link for the women's match. Also coming up from UCCS Media Services on Sunday, we'll be right back at the same positions with all the tremendous camera angles. So please join us and enjoy everything coming up on Sunday afternoon. So that's going to wrap it up here from Mountain Lions Stadium on this homecoming night. A good night for the UCCS squads. The men finish with a 1-1 draw against Regis, and then the women complete the 3-0 shutout of the CSU Pueblo squad. We've enjoyed bringing you all the action. Look forward to seeing you again on Sunday. This is Doug Klein. Like to thank everyone in the truck and also all of the spotters and all of our statisticians for helping out with tonight's game. It takes quite a crew of people to bring this type of match to you. And once again, we'll see you on Sunday afternoon at noon with the men's match, 2:30 Mountain Time with the women's match. This is Doug Klein signing off, wishing you a pleasant evening here in Colorado Springs and wherever your travels may take you. Good night, everyone.